Hello everyone. What do you think? Most of the people fail in interview. Is it because they don't know SQL or Excel? The answer is no. They fail because they don't know what interviews are secretly looking for the answers and how they are testing. I'm going to teach you how the interviewers looking your questions are testing your ability in this video. Stay tuned. There is a secret question. I'm going to reveal it in between or almost end of this video so that you will understand that question, how killer is it and how it is going to filter you from the other people, because that particular question help the interviewers to understand who is created a fake interviews or fake resumes. Goes the values from left, right and center, everywhere we can able to get the values. The another important data analyst question in Excel is all those things, if, sum if, count if, XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP we have already discussed, index match and text functions. So I'm going to show you that how sum if and count if differs. It is a combination of sum value and if condition, count value and if condition. So that is the theoretical answer, and to go for technically I'm going to give it as sum if here. So as I said earlier, it is combination of sum plus condition. So equal to, if I give sum if, actually sum if s will allows you to add multiple conditions, right? So now it says which sum I have to add. So I have to add number of hours I studied, and my criteria range should be this one, which is my extracurricular activities, click comma, my criteria should be they have the extracurricular activities, yes, and then the second criteria, what is the previous course score. I can say my previous score is, let's say 50, close the answer, hit enter. I can say 278. To check the number you can validate it, we can say yes, and the previous score is 50. I click enter, you can see the total number of hours practice, which is 278. So this is how you can able to go the sum if test condition. Now the other one is a count if test condition. So it is a combination of sum and if. The similar way it is count and if condition. So same I'm going to give equal to count if test, and now my criteria range is, again here I have to give the range as yes, and my hours of practice is, my previous score should be 50, enter. So it is 63 rows. Now if we filter, we'll get to know how much we have. We have it as yes, and if I go here, if I 50, my previous score, if I go it's 50, then we can see it is 63 number of rows. So this is how this sum if s and count if s works, and this is the difference between these two in Excel. Now let's jump into section 4 of Power BI questions, where they are very important how this Power BI questions will work. So the question will be, what is Power BI? It is very simple. Like, Power BI is a business intelligence tool where you can able to visualize the data into transforming the raw data into a proper visual format. That's how this will be working, right? Now let's go jump into the other question, which is what is DAX? DAX is nothing but the formula. How you are seeing it in Excel, it is similarly in Power BI. So now the important question is, what is the difference between calculator column and measure? The answer is, calculator column will give you the result and it will be stored in the data, and you can able to see the values in the table present. But however, the measure cannot be stored in the data as it's not consume any energy or space in the Power BI. But it also can't be visible what you are doing. For an example, here I am going to add a new column. I am saying it as sum is equal to underscore c sum. The reason because you can't give the function name as a column name. Sum of unit price, and hit enter. You will get the sum value of entire values over here. The same I need to enter. I'm going to click on new measure. I'm mentioning it as sum of unit price, and this measure you can see it is created over here, but you can't see and you can't evidently see anywhere in the table, meaning it is virtually stored, not visible in our table. So this is the advantage of a measure where it will not consume any energy and your report will not consume any extra space to load on. Now the data analytics question will be there, which is how do you clean the data? It's very important when you are working as a data analyst. Section 5. In section 5, we are going to discuss about the data analytics thinking. So how the data analytics people think and how it will work. So the first question will be, how will you clean the data? So cleaning of the data plays a vital role in creating the data analytics, right? The data will have duplicate values and missing the values. You should handle the missing value. Formatting is very, very important, and checking the accuracy of the data. All this is a combination duplication, because this cleaning of data will end up in affecting your results. So that's where you need to be very clear and concise. If they ask how do you clean the data, and each of it has their own reason. Removing of duplicate, because if I have values repeating again and again, it automatically blocks, or it will give me the number of values twice than the expected result. Handling the missing values, which is ideally if you have not values in that particular column, then it will be an error for you. Format fixing is very important. If you have a date value and it is considered as a number, then it will give an incorrect or drastic number change in your result. And accuracy validation is very important. After handling all these 3 pointers, you have to validate the accuracy of your data. The next one, how do you analyze the declining sales? So ideally it will be like analyzing the values or the sales, how it is happening. So you have to compare the time periods and region wise products and trends and the root causes. So normally it will be showing up. I'll show you in the Power BI report. Here, this is a sales analyst report. If you see, I have given a region wise data, and this is from the year starting from January 2023 to June 2025. So if I want to change, or if I want to make the value to be analyzed, I can able to see here. You can see the total price of the total amount of sales happened per year. 2020 I have 1.70 million, but however in 2025 for 6 months I have 0.91. It may increase or decrease, but if I compare it for 2024, it is bit increased to 0.07 million. So this shows me that how my sales is performing, and I can go for central the region wise. I can see this region is performing very bad, and each region is giving me the result how this performing. This is how you can able to compare the sales or declining sales of your sales team or your client. 15th question or the third question of your KPI data analytics is, what are KPIs? KPI meaning key performance indicators, where it will combine the revenue generated, what is the profit you attained, and customer retention. I'm going back to the same example of Power BI, where you can see the top all your cards which I have shown here, a number of orders, total amount of price sold and returned orders. This is the key KPI where it will show me in the first go itself. I have processed 1500 orders in this time period, almost 2.5 years, in which I have got generated 4.38 million of revenue, in which 372 orders are returned. This will give me an insight or to an overview what my report is showing out. So out of 1500, my 300 orders are returning. So that will be a percentage wise, it says me almost 10 to 15% of my order is returning, right? So this almost 20-25% of my order is returning. So this indirectly gives an indication to the business to take decisions. Okay, what is happening? So this is called as key point indicators, which is KPIs. Now, this section 6 will contains all the rapid fire questions where you can able to answer the differences. What is the difference between null and zero? Null means there is empty value, but zero contains a value. For an example, let's go back to our Excel. Here, let's say I just remove all the other values. Here, if you see, right now, let's say this sample question attended is giving me blank. My sum value is 6, right? But if I add any number value as 0, that means it is also 6. However, if I add a condition in this particular COUNTIF or SUMIF saying that if my value is 0, then it will be considered as a not relevant or dissatisfied, then this will affect your rating. This where it will affect is if you are a service-based in industry and you are taking a survey from your customers. If a customer leaves a rating, then it will be better. It will be marked as out of 5 it is 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. But if they are not leaving any ratings and if you are leaving it as null, that will not harm your categorization. But if you are giving 0, then that will be counted as dissatisfied customers. So this will affect your result. So that is where you should be careful enough while handling the values difference between nulls and zeros. What is data visualization? It's again a graphical representation of graphs and charts, making it easier to understand without deeply checking the data. And now again, these are all like simple questions like what is the difference between structured and unstructured data? Structured data will be properly aligned, cleaned data, and it is properly stored in some databases. It's in Excel or SQL Server, Databricks Server, Azure, in the location. But unstructured is all the text format, emails, images, videos, PDFs, whatever you're sharing, that will be considered as unstructured data because that doesn't follow any proper structures. Then what is normalization? This is very important to understand, because normalization will help you to align and organize the data between the, when you're picking the data from non-structured or any informal data, it will help you to improve the quality and data integrity by splitting into relevant tables. If you're getting a dump data, and if you're having images that should be moved to image and videos to be videos, all these things, normally it is a standardization or aligning the data into the relevant tables. What is dashboard? It's a display of key metrics on single screen to help the stakeholders make fast informed decisions. The one which we are seeing in the Power BI. This is the dashboard. Difference between count and count distinct. Of course, it will count all the values, but count distinct will count only the values which are unique. Meaning, let's say in this Excel file, if I count this value equal to count, and if I select this, I will get the value of 5. I have 5 rows. But if I use distinct count distinct ideally, which is non-unique numbers, I will be getting only 2, which is 0, 1, 2. These are all the values which is distinct count values. What is conditional formatting? This is used to give the color code or to attract people to say that based on the result or the numbers, which will easily understandable for the stakeholders based on the rules which the organization set up. For an example, here I am going to set a conditional formatting. If my conditional formatting, highlight the cells, if the value is greater than 1, that should be filled with green. Click OK. You can see these 2 cells are highlighted because the value is greater than 1. This is how the conditional formatting works, where it will be easy for us to understand. My conditional formatting says that my value or the sample question attended by each individual student is more than 1. What is ETL? Again, it stands for extract, transform and load. It's a process of pulling the data from different sources and cleaning it and loading to the destination. It comes into getting a data into Power BI. That will be discussed in our upcoming videos. Stay tuned for us to understand what is ETL process. Now, let's come to the killer question, which is explain your project which you have worked on. This is very simple question by the interviewer, but it kills a lot of resume who have created it for fake or borrowed their resume from their colleagues or friends who are working. It's very simple, because if you get panicked by this time or while answering, they will get to know you faked your resume and this is not your resume and what you have worked on. All these 23 questions you have answered from the beginning to till now, it will be get completely damaged because of this question, because you didn't do the project and how you will explain the project. Ensure that you are updating the resume by understanding the project with the logics, not just the steps, and know the data sources, where you have taken the data, what are the transformations and what is the business goal. Understand the entire business scenario and then create a report, and accordingly you have to narrate the project you have worked on. If you are failing in any of these steps, definitely you will be get caught and you will be get rejected for 100%. So this is very important question to know, and it is very, very important to keep in mind that you should not fake your resumes. The last question is, how do you handle the deadlines? This is also a very important question, as like the previous one and the very first one. It is also mean that your skills are also not priority. You should also have your reliability to your deadlines for your stakeholders. Ideally, how you handle the deadlines is, you have to prioritize what are the tasks and how it will be, and you have to communicate yearly where any load blockers or showstoppers for you to proceed further on your development. The third will be stay structured. Every task to be updated in properly so that you will not miss any deadline and you should be delivering on time. That's what you committed for. So these are all these important questions you should know before your entering into interview for Power BI or a data analyst. Hope this video is helpful for you. Last but not least, the question, which is, do you have any question for us? This will be the important question, where interesting question to understand, or it will gives the curiosity to the interviewer that how you are interested to take this job. You should not say no. You should say how you are looking forward to your interview. Like you have asked them about how the team structure, how they are working on, and what are the expectations from the clients which the current team is working on. All those things you need to discuss, and also open a gateway that you are ready to learn the questions from them by saying, can you give me a feedback where I get a little lagging from your expectations, so that I can improvise my skills and then I can able to sustain or develop my skills to reach this position. So this particular words or the sentence will impress the interviewer. Also, it will give the confidence to the interviewer that okay, this person is interested to learn and even they are open to feedback. The reason because 99% of the resume or the candidates get rejected because they are not ready to take the feedback from any of the stakeholders or from their super leaders. So this question will help you to build a relation between the interviewer or the stakeholders with you, build a confidence and make a way for you to get a job and job readiness. Hope all these questions are helpful for you. If you have any questions on this, please do comment on this video. I will help you in any point of time. And if you want this PowerPoint which I have, comment as a link. I will share it directly to your email ID. Thank you for watching. We'll meet you in the next super exciting video. Thank you. Have a great day.